Hi guys, Alex here, back again for another video today, and as you can see, I'm not alone for the first time on this channel. I'm doing a collaboration video with my good friend Brandon. This is Brandon Gregory. He has a channel. He started collecting records pretty recently, right?
I've been collecting for a while. I started making videos recently.
Yeah, he started making videos recently, and yeah, posting in the VC. So I'm going to put a link to Brandon's channel in the description, so go and check him out. He needs subscribers, people to watch, and yeah, check out his videos. He's got some great stuff up. He's been showing hip-hop records, dance, soul records, bit of everything really. Yeah. So yeah, definitely go over and check out Brandon's channel. Give him some VC love. But yeah, today we're going to do a video together. I thought it would be a nice idea. Yeah, I thought we'd just talk about kind of the vinyl resurgence, I guess, the kind of comeback of vinyl in the last few years, because I definitely feel like it's a thing. Like, I feel like vinyl's definitely coming back into some kind of fashion. It's coming back as a kind of trend for not just older people, but younger people as well, even though maybe a few years ago it might have been seen as kind of a dead format, or, you know, definitely going out of fashion. I feel like it's definitely starting to come back. I get that sense. So I thought it would be a cool idea just to do a video together on just like the resurgence of vinyl and how we feel about that. So I'm going to talk about how we kind of got into vinyl individually on a personal level. Do you want to say how you got into vinyl first?
Playing in the background first.
Oh yeah, of course. Playing in the background is my favourite album from last year. This is Daft Punk.
Is that your favourite album?
Yeah, wow. Number one on my list. This is Daft Punk, Random Access Memories. Of course.
I'm kind of resisting the urge to start dancing.
Yeah.
The Nile Rodgers guitar is just undeniably just groovy.
It's amazing.
How can you not dance to this?
Yeah. Restrain yourself, yeah.
I won't.
Good. Okay, so yeah, how did you get into vinyl?
I got into vinyl because of my dad, pretty much. Well, it's a mixture really. I got exposed to it because my dad, he was a DJ. He used to do lots of DJ kind of stuff back in the 80s when he described it where vinyl was at its peak. He said that they used to press so much vinyl back in the 80s. I think we said like yesterday we see loads of 80s stuff in charity shops.
Oh yeah, there's tons of it.
There's loads of 80s records. But that's how he got me into like knowing about vinyl. But I started collecting because I started watching this guy right here's videos, and yeah, I found it kind of strange because at the time I was very, very ignorant towards it. I thought the vinyl was just kind of like an older generation kind of format, and I was very ignorant. I thought, oh, it's all about MP3s and stuff. I didn't even collect CDs back then. I was just like, you know, oh, MP3s all the way. Yeah. And then I got really into music because of like Needle Drop and Dan Hip Hop and channels like that, and generally just watching like or reading reviews online. And yeah, I just started watching videos. I found Alex's channel and I thought, wow, there's actually somebody my age that is interested in music as much as me. And like, I seen that he collecting vinyl and it just kind of blew my mind really. So I bought a cheap turntable, which I would advise everybody to do if you just starting to get into vinyl. And yeah, I started collecting then. Yeah,
that's awesome. Well, it's kind of a similar thing for me, even though that I know it's been quite recently that that's happened to you. But I mean, for me, it's a similar thing. I got into records through watching other people on YouTube, really. I mean, when I started this channel back in like 2010, I wasn't even aware that there was a vinyl community, and it was still pretty early stages back then. Like, there wasn't very many people doing VC videos, so I was just doing kind of like Bob Dylan reviews, and that was kind of the point where I was really getting into music properly. Before then, it was just like I was a casual listener, not really very serious about music, and discovered Dylan, discovered the Beatles, Beach Boys, all of these classic bands and artists. Kind of catapulted me into liking all of these future bands that I would get into. So I was doing that at the start, and then I progressed to finding the VC, which was awesome. I started watching, I think Joseph O'Donnell was the first guy I came across in the VC, and again, like Brandon said, it was just amazing to see. There was someone younger than me. I think Joseph was like 14 at the time, 14, 15, and he was doing vinyl videos, which I thought was awesome, but also kind of strange because I'd never seen it before. I'd never really been aware of vinyl. I didn't know it was even still really a format that was anyone was collecting. So that was how I got into it. I just became inspired by Joseph O'Donnell, and then future people like Dan in Canada, Mr. Hall of Fame, all of the early VC members. It was just really inspiring, and I wanted to kind of try and follow them, I guess. So that's pretty much how I got into it. So pretty similar, really. We just kind of saw things online, saw things on YouTube, and took it from there, I guess.
Yeah, pretty much.
But yeah, I mean, the VC is like something we both consider ourselves a part of, I guess, now. I know Brandon's new to it, but I've been doing it a few years. And what I think is one of the most amazing things is that there's such a wide range of age groups in the VC. I mean, we were talking about this, how crazy it is that there's people younger than us making videos showing vinyl, collecting vinyl, and there seems to be more and more people of that age making videos now. But of course there's still the older people, the older generation is still collecting. So I think it's interesting that there's such a wide diversity of people making videos and collecting vinyl. But what do you kind of think about the younger person's perspective as opposed to like older generations?
Yeah, that's sort of like with the general idea of the video started, really. I was saying to Alex how I think it's kind of a mixture of a few things, really, how younger people get exposed to vinyl. Obviously, at the moment, one of the biggest trends at the moment in terms of fashion in general is it's very vintage. Like, vintage is really, really in at the moment.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a part of that trend, like, to have the vintage clothes and the vintage, like, accessories, vintage everything. And I do think vinyl plays a part in that. Obviously, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, and that's completely fine. It's just I feel like it is a big part, even if people don't really realise it. Yeah. It's kind of a big thing at the moment.
And you said you were reading an article about kids that buy vinyl and then don't actually listen to it.
Yeah, they kind of keep them. I read an article on BBC how they surveyed, I think it was 18 to 25-year-olds who collect vinyl, and I think it came back like 30-something% of them said they don't even have any intention of ever playing them. And in my eyes, they don't seem like they collect it for valuable purposes. They collect it just because, like I said, it's part of a trend. Obviously, I'm not trying to say everybody does it for that reason, but I think it plays a big part in it at the moment. But
especially for the younger people, some younger people.
Yeah.
Especially you see that in kind of like record store day and stuff, and you're starting to see that now, that records are more than just the music. It's become like they have a multi-purpose now. It's like they're collector's items as well as being practical, usable, items. So
you saw it on like this year's record store day with like the One Direction release. There was another group that I was not aware of at the record store day called 5 Seconds of Summer. They released a cassette tape. It was a really cool idea. They released a cassette tape that you had to have a secret code to like, and you had to go up to and ask for the code and whatever they give you. But like a lot of their fans, a lot of their demographic was young girls for like both those groups, and I had a bunch of them behind me in the queue in the line, and they
you know that most of those people don't.
Yeah, they don't know they didn't even know what record store day was. Do you know what I mean? Like they didn't know what my record store was. They didn't know what record store day was. They didn't know what it was about, what it was celebrating. They were there purely because it was One Direction or because it was 5 Seconds of Summer, which is...
And that kind of backs up the fact that it's becoming like a trend, and even though it started as this kind of alternative thing to be into, I certainly felt that when I started collecting, that I was one of the only people my age. I didn't have any friends. I didn't really know Brandon back then, so I didn't have any friends that collected vinyl. I only knew the people in the VC that did it. Whereas now, I think even just three years later, it seems like, you know, there's so many more people doing it and doing it for different reasons. And you see that, I mean, it's become very commercial in different circumstances, like with Record Store Day, people buying records that are limited and putting them on eBay straight away.
Yeah.
There's been a whole thing about that. I mean, some of the VC's been up in arms about that, and I can see why, because it's becoming almost going a bit too far with that. Some records are starting to become more about the collectability than how much you enjoy them, which I think is a shame, really, because there's so much great stuff out there and so many good things about collecting records for the music.
Yeah.
That it just seems a shame that some people collect purely just to sell things on, or collect them and not play them.
Yeah, it's crazy because going back to the record store day thing, I think a lot of it, even record labels know now that this is a big thing, because who 5 years ago, what major pop artist would have put stuff out on vinyl? Do you know what I mean? It's like they know, they're not stupid. They know that if they put a One Direction release out on a record store day, it's gonna sell out.
You said yours sold out straight away.
Yeah, mine sold out. Like, there was girls that were outraged that they got to the front of the queue and there was nothing there.
Yeah.
I think they know that they're not stupid. They know that vinyl is making a big comeback, and they know that people will go and will pay the money, because there was something like, I think it was a tenner or something for like a 7-inch single, and they know that people will pay it. So it's I think that's a part of it as well. Like record labels know it's a big thing now.
Yeah, and I mean, contrasting that to maybe older generations that are still collecting. I mean, looking at some of the people in the VC that are maybe in their middle age or slightly in the older age category. I mean, many people have had their record collections for their whole lives, or most of their lives. And back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and even 90s to an extent, I mean, it was the only format, or one of the only formats, or the preferable format for listening to music. So it didn't really have that element of, well, it did to an extent, but it didn't have the same element of collectability that it does now, and the same, it wasn't a trend, it was just the way things were, I guess.
You had no other choice to do, really. You kind of had to buy vinyl back then, but now it's kind of an optional thing. Yeah.
So I think it's definitely an alternative still. I mean, I think CD sales are still above record sales just about, probably. Yeah. But I think it's definitely becoming more balanced now. And I can see a time where vinyl does kind of render CDs as obsolete. I mean, some people love CDs and there's nothing wrong with that, but I think record sales are just making such a comeback now, and I definitely feel there's this trend that's just getting bigger and bigger for the right or wrong reasons. So yeah, that was the second thing we wanted to talk about. So what do you think about like record stores, like the resurgence of record stores? Because I know, there was a lot of talk about them going downhill a few years ago. What do you think the state of record stores is now, and like, how they are doing against like online vendors that are selling records maybe a bit cheaper? How do you feel about that?
It's definitely, obviously you can see the differences. Obviously, you go on Amazon and 99% of the time you can get stuff cheaper on Amazon. I always say, like, for me, is the thing I love about going to record stores, it's like an experience. It's not just, I love the hassle of going to record stores. I know that kind of doesn't make sense to a lot of people, but I love digging for stuff, and I love looking, and I love, when you find something and you pick it up and you love that album. It's such a great feeling. You don't get that on Amazon because you can just type in, get the album, order it, and it's done. But like when you dig and dig and dig for like loads and loads of time, like
something satisfying about it.
Yeah, you find that record, you almost feel proud of yourself that you spent that time looking for it. Like there's more of a self-achievement kind of aspect to it. Whereas on Amazon, it's just so easy. Just I know what record I want, to type it in, get it ordered. It'll be here, next couple of days. But I just love the experience of record. So going there, having conversations with people who work there, and just it's an overall amazing experience. I love walking, like taking time out. I gotta walk 15-20 minutes to go to my record store. But I love that. I love the hassle of it. I think it makes it a much better experience. It's much more, like happy thing for me.
Definitely. I see where you're coming from with that. I mean, I think everybody in the VC, like, who watches this video probably has that same feeling that Brandon just described. Like, it's like a process thing, I think, with vinyl collectors. Like, it's not just the going to the record store. Like, there's a whole process involved. And it's kind of like ritualistic in a way, how you go to the store, you can dig through records, and that's incredibly satisfying, at least for me. I love doing that. And then, bringing it back, and taking it out of the shrink and putting it on the table, and you put the needle down. And for some people it's weird, because for some people that would be a massive inconvenience, and they wouldn't want to do that. It's not something you would naturally think you'd want to do. It's a strange thing, and I think that's why we're attracted to records, because you start to appreciate music more, I think, when you have to work a bit to listen to it. And you start to not take it for granted anymore. Whereas on an iPod you can just press play on a song, and you start to get into that mindset of not listening to albums anymore. I just think it's a shame, really. I think record stores play a part in that process. As Brandon said, I think there's definitely something to be said for buying online, because often you can get things a lot cheaper on there. You were saying, like, you have a £5 rule if it's...
my £5 rule. If it's any more If it's any more than £5, I buy online. But if it's £5 and under, I will buy from a record store.
Yeah, so there's £5 difference.
Yeah.
£5 less online, he'll buy it online. Which I would agree with. I think, if in any way you can support your indie record store, then that's the best thing to do. I mean, they're great people in there, especially my store. I mean, they're just great people, and you can see that they have the same love of music that you do. So it's I definitely prefer going to record stores.
Yeah.
And I think I can definitely see a difference. I think record stores are coming back and making a bit of a resurgence, probably due to record sales. But it'll be interesting to see whether they can sustain that, with Amazon and everything else competing with them. But I think things like Record Store Day as well. I mean, it's great that we have that. I know a lot of people aren't fans of it, and I can see why. But it's great for the stores, and they make a ton of money out of it. So I mean, that's how I feel about record stores. Really, I love my store anyway. That's pretty much all we wanted to talk about, really. It'd be interesting to make this into a kind of a thread, would you say? Yeah, just like put it out there to you guys. Maybe how do you feel record collecting differs between the younger and older generation? It's a pretty interesting topic because there's so much diversity in terms of age in the community. And it'd be interesting to hear some of your opinions on that.
I'd love to know, like, personally, like, why a lot of the older generation of people in the VC, I'd want to know why they think vinyl has made it such a big comeback and why it's suddenly become a huge thing again, and whether they think that's a good or bad thing. And just the people who were involved with it, obviously the record stores. I'd love to know everything like that, because I feel like, just looking from our standpoint, we only get our view, but like hearing other people's views would be like amazing.
And also in different countries as well. Like, it might be different in wherever you live in the world. We're just talking about here in the UK. We're definitely both getting that feel that it's coming back.
Yeah, definitely.
Which is awesome. So let me know what you think, guys. Leave a comment or make a video response if you want to, and make sure you go and check out this guy's channel. Put a link in the description. Subscribe and watch his videos. Give him some comments, and that'd be awesome. So I'll see you guys next time. Don't know what my next video is going to be, but hopefully it'll be pretty soon. Anyway, thanks very much for watching, and see you guys later.
Bye.